you believe in fairy tales and you believe
stories.
in old mythical stories
sure.
by the book, and you believe that gay people shouldn't be allowed to get married, and you believe, there's like all sorts of stuff that comes with that.
I am rather excited for this video because we are going to be connecting a couple very important dots. You might be familiar with this video right here where Adam Curry came on the Joe Rogan Experience and talked with him about God. He referred to it in terms of it being a conspiracy. I'm going to play a couple minutes of this to give context because it leads into what Joe Rogan uses to describe God, which is he says there must be some kind of I don't know, maybe it's like a creation forming machine or something along those lines. I'm going to connect this piece, this video here, with this video where William Lane Craig actually addresses this exact issue in a different debate context that he had with a person who was kind of trolling him and being skeptical or whatever. So these two pieces working together are going to begin to paint a picture that's very, very fascinating. So definitely stick around for the William Lane Craig answer. Then at the end of this video, I'm going to give some commentary to try to really connect these dots even that much more to explain how. But first, let me not get ahead of myself. Let's dive in. It's Joe Rogan, Adam Curry. Let's do this clip.
I've looked at every conspiracy theory, moon landing, 9/11, JFK, I mean, all kinds of conspiracies. The one I had never looked at, and now, I'm 58, so I'm like, okay, let me look at this one, is God. And I said, let me see about this God thing. I've never been a religious guy. And so I start reading and I start talking to people. I also found that around me, like a couple of people I was working with, they're all Christians. And not that anyone was ever pushing anything on me. When I asked them questions, they were gladly answered. And there's a lot of stuff written about Jesus. There's a lot written, thousands of years of books. And there's some contemporary stuff such as Evidence Demands a Verdict. And, this just is so much. And I got to tell you, Joe, as sure as I know that Building 7 didn't fall down out of sympathy for Building 1 and 2, God is real, Jesus existed, he was a badass outlaw, and it has changed my outlook on life. It has really changed the way I look at things. And I believe that we can win with God. I know that may sound a little weird coming from me, but I'm all in on this. And, I'm not you may think of someone who believes in God or Jesus as a crazy right-wing nut job, which I'm obviously not. But man, it's powerful stuff when you put prayer into your life. It's really powerful. The Holy Spirit.
I don't think there's anything weird about it at all. I mean, I think there's a reason why it exists, why it's so prevalent in so many cultures. It helps people.
It's about love.
Yeah,
it's all about love.
Yeah, whether or not. The idea, the problem is the word. That word has been co-opted. Yeah, the word has been co-opted in a lot of people's minds. There's not a real problem with the word. I should rephrase that. There's a problem with the perception of the word.
Sure.
The perception of the word is that you believe in fairy tales. And you believe
stories.
In old mythical stories
sure.
by the book, and you believe that gay people shouldn't be allowed to get married, and you believe, there's like all sorts of stuff that comes with that.
That's
right?
not really contemporary religion anymore, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Isn't that fascinating? No, contemporary religion is a fascinating concept.
Sure, of course.
Because then you have to agree that the hand of man has decided, and culture has decided to manipulate these ancient doctrines and change them to keep up with the times.
Or evil.
Yeah.
Or evil. It's kind of like,
but I think what I was going to say is like the concept of like a guy in the sky, with a robe on, like what people consider God. That might seem ridiculous, but the idea that there's a powerful force of the universe, like, why wouldn't there be? Like, how else did this happen? Even if that powerful force is just some scientific creation machine that's impossible for you to wrap your head around the amount of power that it has. It's literally created the universes, the multiverses, the different planets and the different beings and all the inventions. It's created everything, and it's constantly in this creative process. Like, just knowing that that's a real thing can give you order in your life. I think the problem that a lot of people have is they think they're smarter than they really are. So they think that like saying they believe in God like makes them seem stupid, and they're worried about criticism, so they won't say it.
Okay, now with that in mind and that context being given, let's dive in here to William Lane Craig.
But the cause hasn't got to be God.
Well, remember I gave an argument for thinking that this cause is timeless, spaceless, immaterial, enormously powerful, and personal.
I think it's a computer.
Well, that wouldn't... computers are designed by people.
No, this is a self-designing computer.
Timeless.
Timeless.
Well, that's a contradiction in terms.
Why is it time? What's contradictory about it?
A computer has to function. It takes time.
No, this is a special computer.
Yeah, but it has to be logically coherent.
Oh, it's logically coherent?
Yes, you have to be logically coherent.
Oh, no, this computer is amazing.
No, besides, it would have to be, as I said, a personal being.
No.
And a computer is a physical
Not this computer.
object.
Oh,
well, then,
no.
Okay, see, what you're doing is what you're calling a computer is really God. A non-physical,
So in other words, once we're talking about a spaceless, timeless, immaterial, all-powerful, creative force that is behind the universe, we're talking about God at this point. You can say computer or a creation-forming machine like Joe Rogan did, but at that point, by definition, you're talking about God. We know that it has to be a mind. There has to be a mind to create minds like we have. Minds don't come from matter. Intelligence doesn't come from matter. Beauty doesn't come from matter. Meaning doesn't come from matter. There has to be a creative force that has meaning, beauty, intelligence wrapped up in its very nature to be able to create a universe filled with those things. So the question is really, who checks the boxes that we know are required for the nature of God? Obviously, I would say Yahweh as a Christian. Now, you could, from just this premise, you could say, well, you know what? Maybe it's Allah. Maybe it's, a pantheon. Like, you can say different things. We can get into that in other videos, and I actually have made some videos that cover that. But the point is, it really can't be a computer or a creation-forming machine. At the point that you're talking about the type of being who could create the universe, at this point, you really are talking about God. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in. I think it's fascinating. I hope you guys did as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video.